What am I watching?
Why is this happening?
I'll just say one word: bathtub.
No! Why? Why?
Oh my goodness.
How is that necessary?
Hey guys, we are back for another year of the Hub on Hollywood podcast. Thank you so much. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
Yeah, and on this week's episode, we're talking about how this could be one of the busiest years of filmmaking in New England. We're also celebrating local success. The critically acclaimed Holdovers movie, filmed here in Massachusetts, has a very strong start in the awards season, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that things continue because I love that movie. Speaking about movies, The Mandalorian, it's jumping to light speed from Disney Plus to the big screen. That's pretty nice, right? And our thoughts on the new divisive movie, Saltburn. This will be a spoiler-filled review or reaction to it. If you've watched it, you'll probably have similar thoughts maybe on it. We're also going to have a game at the end, so stick around. A CineQuote game on this episode of The Hub on Hollywood. But Jamie, it is 2024. How are you doing? We're back.
We are back. Welcome to another amazing year of the Hub on Hollywood. I had a great New Year's. The kids both stayed up till midnight.
Amazing.
And we've just been kicking things off. It's going to be a good year. I can feel it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so worried. Listen, just namaste and breathe in and breathe out, and we are going to get through this year, and it is going to be good, and let's pump that positive energy into the world, and that's what we're doing here on the Hub on Hollywood. We are Knuff, James.
We are Knuff.
I am Knuff. You are Knuff. So is everyone listening. It's going to be okay, guys. Believe in yourselves. It's going to be okay. We've got this.
How I ring in the new year?
How'd you ring in the new year?
So my baby went to bed at around 7 o'clock, and my wife and I went to bed around 8:30 at night.
Oh.
And so we cannot. There's no way nowadays we can stay up till midnight. It's physically impossible, mentally impossible. So we went to bed very early, but we had a great start to the new year. And so far, so good. But I'm happy to be back. Happy that the podcast is ramping up. We had a couple of busy weekends, and so this was our first chance to be back. But we're not the only ones coming back.
Oh my goodness, James!
Filmmaking. Back here.
That is right. Movies and filmmaking back in New England. I've heard from some SAG-AFTRA reps out in the field. Is that what? I know in journalism you say we're out in the field. When you're out on a movie set, I don't know if that counts as out in the field as well, unless you're literally in a field, which I have been before on a movie set. But I have heard from the SAG reps that this is going to be a busy year. This is going to be a good year, and we are already starting to see that, James. Boston Casting, which is one of the larger casting agencies here in New England, they're getting pretty busy. They have 3 projects right now, that they are starting to look for people for. So we've got a project, a feature film that's going to be filming midwinter to early spring in Rhode Island. They're looking for some children for that one. And they're casting 2 feature films right now, one called Hello Beautiful and the other called Ella McKay. So if you're interested in any of those, and you're into either you want to be a serious actor or you want to spend a day on set doing background and watching the amazing world of movie magic, go ahead and sign up for Boston Casting on bostoncasting.com. It's free to set up an account there so that you can get the emails and you can get a chance to hang out on set. Maybe with me.
And there's also Slate Casting. There are several other casting agencies out there that people should dip their toe in. Right? It's good to play the field, right?
Exactly. You've got Slate Casting. You've got CP Casting, Kendall Cooper Casting, and so many others. Stick with the Hub on Hollywood. We'll let you know who's looking for who. But definitely sign up for all of them. It is free to send your information out there. There's also another low-budget film that is hiring a lot of SAG people, a lot of union folks and non-union alike, called Shattered Ice, which is a very dramatic title, but it is based on a true story of a high school hockey star who took his own life, and it tackles that message, the importance of mental health and all that. So a lot of projects are ramping up, even now in the winter. So you can only imagine in the spring and the summer how much work there's going to be. And us here on the Hub on Hollywood, Jamie and James, will let you know when you can apply and how you can get back on set.
Yeah, and it's always good to look to the future of filmmaking in New England, but what's also fun is looking back in the past. There's this actual special screening at the Brattle Theater here in Boston. This 3-hour chronological compilation of movie scenes called Made in Massachusetts, 100 Years of Filmmaking in the Bay State. This is, again, at the Brattle Theater on Sunday, January 14th. So by the time you've seen this episode, heard this episode, may have been already screened. This is a one-time screening. However, I hope that if it is popular, that there'll be back, and not only at the Brattle, but at other local theaters. But this is looking at films and TV shows shot in Massachusetts between 1922 and 2022. Including recognizable scenes from Martha's Vineyard to Harvard Square to Great Barrington, and so I would actually love to check out some of those early 1900s films. What were they doing back then? They were not doing Godzilla vs. Kong back in 1922. So I would love to see what kind of things that they were making back then. I'm sure much shorter, maybe 5 or 10 minute, quote unquote movies at the time, or productions or shows. But that must be amazing. So if you know about this and you are able to check this out, reach out to us. Let us know how it went. How did that epic 3-hour plus experience feel? And what surprised you? How many Wahlbergs did you count?
How many Wahlbergs?
In that 100-year span.
How many Ben Afflecks and Matt Damons?
Harrison Ford also, yeah.
Oh, right, exactly. And I would love to see that evolution from the black and white, no sound, to some of the greatest movies of all time that were filmed here. Incredible movies continue to be filmed here. Exactly. And like you were just about to say, one that has Oscar buzz right now and was filmed in New England, The Holdovers.
Yeah, a big night for the Holdovers cast and crew at the Golden Globes. Not only was it nominated, so it was nominated for Best Picture of the year. It did not win. However, our favorites, Paul Giamatti, he did win Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or a Comedy, as well as his co-star, Davine Joy Randolph. She won Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role in any motion picture. And they say, I don't know who they are, but they say that the Golden Globes is a great indicator of how the rest of the award season is going to look like. We haven't received a full list of the Oscar nominations, but I would expect and hope that a lot of cast and crew make it on the Oscar nomination list, because it's incredible. So very happy with Paul Giamatti. Did you see how Paul celebrated after the Golden Globes, Jamie?
I heard about it. Gosh, it was something like he just showed up at where did he show up?
He went
at
to
a restaurant?
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out Burger, that's right.
A classic. So, of course, they had the award show in Los Angeles, and we've seen before celebrities, after they won an Oscar, an Emmy, or what have you, they go and celebrate at their most favorite location, and to no one's surprise, In-N-Out is a very common stop for a lot of people. And so somebody snapped a picture of Paul and his I don't know, I think his girlfriend, and they're sitting down and chowing down on a double with fries, and probably animal style, with Golden Globe in hand on table.
Right.
You don't get any more Los Angeles, California than that. So congratulations, Paul Giamatti. We love you. And he gave a shout out during his speech when he won the award. He gave a shout out to Boston Crew and Beantown and how much he loved the people here and being here. So Paul, come back anytime. Come back whenever you want. We'll have plenty of space and roles and movies and stuff for you. But go Holdovers. I'm really rooting for them. I love that movie.
And James, I mean, that is not the only film that has come out in recent months that was filmed here. The Finest Kind just came out, starring Jenna Ortega, Tommy Lee Jones. That's on Paramount Plus.
Starring Jamie Blanco.
Yes, and what may or may not have been Jenna's stand-in for several days on that project. That was tons of fun.
Yeah.
I got to be there on the very last day of filming and watch the amazing helicopter shots that they had for this scene that was at the very end of the movie. There were drones, there were helicopters. We spent the whole day on a bridge, and then we got to kind of party with cast and crew on the very last day. So that was very nice. Jenna was very gracious, very kind. Amazing experiences that we get to have here. And I just wanted to share, James, too, that I did get a chance to work a day on one of these new projects that's currently filming. And the atmosphere was so joyous. It was like a big party, because we're just coming off of our double strikes, right? The writer's strike and the actor's strike. For some people, it's been 7 months or more since they've been able to work. And it was just such a great feeling to be back on set, back working, seeing all of the people who, this is their livelihood, this is what they love to do. So it's like every time somebody walked into the green room back there with all of the background actors, we're like, hey, it's Tony, hey, it's this person, hey, it's that person. So
any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, I mean, to everybody, to Sam Zillick, who was there.
He's everywhere. Sam,
He's everywhere.
You're rocking it, Sam.
So, we're very excited about his career and future prospects. To Kayla Caulfield and Tony and a bunch of other people that I saw there that day. It was a big group of folks. So everyone's just really happy and excited and thrilled to be back working in movies in New England. So 2024 is going to be a great year, James.
Excellent. Now, what may not be filming in Massachusetts or New England, unfortunately, but we'll be filming somewhere and in 2024. So this
in a
year
galaxy?
is...
Far, far away?
Yeah, it's in a galaxy far away, maybe in Los Angeles, presumably. But the Mandalorian and Grogu are embarking to a new adventure, the movie theaters. Did you hear about this, Jamie?
I did not, actually. You brought this news to me, James.
Yeah, so breaking news. It's been out for a couple of days, but Jon Favreau will be directing a Mandalorian movie that, again, it will be filming sometime this year, produced by Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni, so you know it's got to be good. But yeah, so this means that there will likely not be a season 4 of The Mandalorian, but we will be getting more Mando, and we will be getting more Baby Grogu. Do you think this is a good idea? Yay or nay? Should The Mandalorian, should Baby Grogu and their story remain on Disney Plus in a drawn-out series, or should they make a leap onto the big screen? Again, not every Star Wars movie in the past 5, 10, 6, whatever years has been that great. So what do you think? Confidence or no?
God. I think this is sort of a cash grab. I think that Disney is realizing what a popular character Mando and Baby Grogu are together, and they're capitalizing on that energy. But I don't think a film is the right place to go. I feel
because we're
like,
getting a Rey Skywalker movie, and
yes.
so is this? Or have they not learned their lesson and going back to the let's make as many Star Wars movies in as little time as possible? It seems like that.
I don't think they've learned their lesson at all, quite honestly. And I don't know if that's a Kathleen Kennedy thing or just a Disney general thing. Or I'm just worried that they're going to cheapen it And
the budget will be better. I mean, so it'll look better.
Yes.
But looking better does not equate a better story.
Exactly. And I like the episodic way that that Mando's been being told.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been odd. It's been odd because not only does Mando have its own show, but they also like invaded the whole end of the Boba Fett series.
Yeah.
Mando took over that, and now they're going to get their own movie. It just feels a little bit messy.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure if you heard anything about Boba, but I'm not sure if that's getting another season. I heard there was like some mixed reports about whether there will be a Book of Boba season 2.
Mm-hmm.
If
Boba
not,
Fett?
maybe he pops in the
Boba
movie.
Fett? Where? We'll see. We'll see. But officially, James, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. My enthusiasm remains to, I'm withholding that until it actually comes out. And if it is good, then I'll be excited. But
see, this is what they should have done. Now, and as you may remember, that my gripe with the Mandalorian is after, spoilers alert if you haven't seen this, but after Mando delivers or passes Grogu onto Luke, he should not have gotten him back. Not only in the next season, but in that 2 episode popping up in between in the Book of Boba. I feel like they should not have brought them together because that would have been such a great story arc. You could have taken Mando into so many different directions. And if they had done that, if they do make a movie, then make that movie Mando finding Grogu, rescuing Grogu. Like that would have been a layup. That would have been easy.
Yeah.
But no, they just couldn't help themselves, and they reunited the pair because of, again, popularity, of money, of XYZ. But I thought from a storytelling perspective, they really missed out on something that could have been a much better, more fan-serving story.
Right. It could have given it much more emotional weight.
Right.
It would have given fans something more to look forward to. And that deepen that desire to what happens next? What happens next? Don't they ever find each other again? Right. But you've cut that short. You've So I agree with you 100%.
Let me ask you this, though.
That. But where could it possibly go?
Do you think, because now we know that because of Pedro Pascal and his booming popularity, he's appearing in everything, including rumored to be in the new Marvel Fantastic Four movie as Reed Richards. So his popularity is increasing, and because of that, he has done less in the suit Mando work. He's done all the voiceover as the voice of Mando. So, but he hasn't been filling up the armor in the past season or two. However, because this is going to be a movie, do you imagine, one, Pedro Pascal being in that suit more often, and two, do you imagine that helmet coming off? Because again, if you're paying for Pedro Pascal to be in the movie, I think the studio executives will be like, we gotta see his face more often. Where I think the less face, the better. Again, that's the character. There's a purpose. There's a reason for it. And so what do you think? Do you think, one, Pedro Pascal will be filling out the suit more often? And two, do you think we'll be seeing his face more often, for better or worse?
Yes, I think that he's going to fill the suit more often. If they're going to make a movie, he's going to be in the suit. That's what I think. But this is another excellent reason you bring up about why I believe that it shouldn't be a movie, that it should remain part of the show, because he went through so much. The character went through so much to regain his honor because he took off the mask so that he can never take off the mask again. To then create a movie in which he needs to take off the mask, because then there won't be that appeal. Like, everybody wants to see Pedro's face. So what's going to happen if he takes off the mask again? So I'm not on board. I'm not on board with the movie thing. I think that thought alone just puts the nail in the coffin of that thought for me. But what can I do? What can I do, James? What can I do about it?
You can boycott them. Go to Disney headquarters and boycott them. Let us know what you think. Are you on board with the Mando movie, the Mandalorian? That was terrible. Are you on board for that? Or yay or nay? Let us know why. And and if you have a plot idea, if you have a story idea, pitch it. We would love to share it on the podcast as well. But production starting sometime this year. Jamie, now let's get to I'm not sure this is a pun or not, but the meat of the podcast, Saltburn. Saltburn.
Yeah.
I've heard so many things about the movie. Fortunately, no spoilers, but a lot of buzz around this movie. And so I was really looking forward to watching it. I was actually hoping to watch it with my wife, but just the timing didn't work out, and I just watched it by myself, which may have been for the better. In my wife's case. But you just watched it just after I did, I think the day after. But for those who are not familiar, Saltburn, it's about a student at Oxford University who finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. Directed and written by Emerald Fennell. It stars Barry Keoghan, who I do love. He's a fantastic actor. Jacob Elordi, Rosamund Pike, Richard E. Grant, and Archie Madekwe. I'm butchering his last name, but he's also a rising star that I really want to pay attention to. But this movie is streaming on Amazon Prime. Jamie, we had different reactions to this movie. I think we had many reactions to parts of this film, but overall the ending, I think I enjoyed it more than you did. Is that fair to say?
I think that's very fair to say. I'm just going to give you my initial reaction here, James, and then I want to get yours. Okay? Listen, I'm going to try to be fair.
Spoilers.
I'm going to try to be fair, and we're going to go a little bit into spoilers here.
Right.
I'm just going to give you my general reaction first. Listen, the narrative storytelling here, brilliant. I love all the twists at the end. I love the way that the story was told. The lighting and the cinematography,
beautiful.
To die for. The lighting especially, or lack thereof, romantic, sumptuous. It's the way that dark should be used, not like, as an overall filter over a whole movie, you can't see anything. The dark moments, I could still see and feel everything I needed to, and the light moments were not overdone. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Other than the brilliant narrative choices, the lighting and cinematography, this movie did not need to be made. It did not need to be made. It's demented. It is demented and shocking. It made me uncomfortable, creeped out. I feel violated after watching this movie. Especially as we slowly discover the true nature of the protagonist, who is really an antagonist, it just becomes more and more and more unsettling. Things that are on screen that never needed to be filmed, ever. Never needed to be in front of a camera,
I agree with you
ever.
to an extent.
So, and I think that the person who wrote this should be locked up and checked on. I think somebody needs to check on their mental health. Because what the flip was that movie, James? What was that?
I agree with you with so many points. The cinematography, beautiful.
Yes.
I loved the estates. I loved the gaudiness because when I first saw this and how I described it to my wife, I said it is a mix of the talented Mr. Ripley and The Great Gatsby. Well, when it comes to The Great Gatsby, I love the gaudiness, this eccentric, extremely elite family, very rich family, wealthy family, and these parties they throw, the way they live, the way they, live their day-to-day life and everything, so over the top, so out of touch with the common man and reality. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and just looking at, what wealth does to people, what it does to families. And I love the acting was incredible. Again, Barry Keoghan, you initially root for him, and in a way you do continue rooting for him when you figure out what's going on, because he turns from protagonist to antagonist, but everybody in this movie is a sociopath. We have to get that out of the way. Everybody in this movie is a sociopath.
No good characters.
It's which sociopath you're rooting for. And at the end you find out that Barry has, or the main character Oliver Quick has ulterior motives much more sinister
say the
motives.
least.
Yeah, than you are first, introduced to. I'll show you the face that I was making during some of these scenes that we both agree were extreme and cringy. But here's the face. Here's the face I was making. Like,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
like my face froze in that position of just like, oh my God, what is happening? Oh no,
What am I
no.
watching?
What am I
Why is
watching?
this happening?
I'll just say one word: bathtub.
No! Why? Why?
Oh my goodness!
How is that necessary? You know,
It does. You know what? It shows just the, again, sociopathic and demented, and what's the word for, like, another, like, for being over sexual, like, what's a good word for that? I don't know, but whatever that word is, it gave you it immediately told you who this person was. It cut through the chase of, like, is this person a good guy? Is he a weird? Like, oh no, he's definitely weird. He's a wacko. This is wild.
Right.
And so that was, again. So I there were a lot of
Vulgar.
quote unquote cringe. What was that?
Vulgar? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
or
that could-
hypersexual? Obscene?
Obscene. Yeah. There is no word to describe that scene. But again, there were moments where I cringed, but a lot of it I was laughing, I was smiling, I was glued to it. Like, again, all these characters you don't really want to root for, and you're kind of seeing this internal spiral of sanity, of morality. So do I think this movie should have been made? I do. I understand why you don't think so, though, and I respect that opinion.
Listen, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep the night after watching this. Like, kept going over all of these different parts. I'm like, how could he have done this to this person? And and just the realization. And that bathtub saw a lot of action. Okay, it wasn't just the tub drain.
That tub got
part.
the most action out of everybody. I think out of anybody in that movie.
That was not the only violation of that bathtub, okay? Besides the drain, and which was why, what, So, but there was parallelism there between when he first is hooking up with the sister, and then takes a bath, and you see what's on his face, and then what happens later when the sister dies in the bathtub and there's more blood. So I think that was a parallel there, and she says it very well at the end when she's confronting him in the bathtub. He's consuming them. He is literally this monstrous parasite that is doing an amazing job of masquerading as just being this meek and harmless little guy,
innocence.
little pet of a person, and the mom has a pet. Like, so the son brings home a pet, like these people who they just keep around to entertain them, because it's that Great Gatsby-ness that you were mentioning, the violence of their thoughtlessness and how they destroy people. And normally, the trope is it's the thoughtlessness of the rich people that destroys others, but it was the thoughtful, conniving, premeditatedness of Oliver that leads to the consumption and destruction of this family. And in that way, in the storytelling way, it is good. It's great. It's amazing. The content therein. The grave. James, do you want to say anything about what happens to the grave at the end of the movie? What do you have to say for yourself? How can you defend that part of the movie? You know what I mean?
I don't need to defend it.
That's true.
And so this is for spoilers and stuff. Hopefully you've seen Saltburn. If you haven't, pause it and watch it and come back. But so Oliver's friend who invites him to Saltburn, the estate, he passes away, and Oliver is the last one there after the burial, fresh ground, fresh dirt, on the casket, and Oliver decides to I think he again, like he said, he did love him, and I think he regretted the opportunity of not actually being physical or
Right.
getting as much as he wanted from his friend, physically or mentally, and maybe felt some guilt or to an extent. But yeah, he literally has sex on his grave, or has sex with the grave.
The grave.
Yeah, and so and I'm sure there are a bunch of metaphors and things you can derive from that, but yeah, it just shows that this guy obviously is he has a couple nuts or bolts in his brain loose, literally some nuts loose as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think this, and it's funny you mentioned the word parasite. When I was describing the film and what was happening and stuff to my wife, she said, like The Talented Mr. Ripley, like The Great Gatsby, this movie reminds her the description of Parasite, the movie, where you have this family infiltrating itself into this wealthy this family's home and slowly, piece by piece, taking it over and or whatnot. And so so I thought this movie is described as a psychological thriller. I think that's a perfect description for it. This is not a movie you should watch with your children. You should not watch with people who you feel uncomfortable with around sexual imagery and whatnot. But I think it is divisive, but I think it's a really, really good movie. The acting, again, Barry Keoghan, he's the main lead, and he's fantastic in this film. I did read a couple reviews on Reddit, people discussing it, and there was one person who I think kind of said it perfectly. He said, "I love this movie. I understand it's not for everybody, and not everybody will like it, but I think everybody should watch it." I think there's something anybody could take from this movie, whether it's the message on wealth, on what it does to people, how that wealth forces them or has them treat other people. It has a message on sexualization of promiscuity, the pros, the cons of it. It has mental health. So there's a lot of messages you could take from this. But I enjoyed the ride. What did you think about the ending?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was great. That was great.
That I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil.
Okay.
You just have to watch it for yourself. But that was quite the ending.
I would just say that the confidence that actor has, kudos to him. A round of applause, because what a freaking performance. What a performance. Yeah, especially there at the end. That, at least, it's crazy because it's such, like we've said this word before, it is such a demented movie that somehow leaves you smiling at the end.
Yes.
How? So, okay, fine. In that way, I can see how it's a pretty amazing movie in what was done here. I think that it's going to easily be set up for all of the awards when it comes to its turn.
Cinematography, acting, score, so many good things. Design, like clothing. What's the word? Fashion design or costume design. Like it was visually stunning. The story was so catching. The actors were, so you were drawn to each character. Each character was very unique, had their own, their own. You felt sorry for each character in a way, even if they were a jerk, even if they were, oblivious and out of touch. You felt kind of sorry for them. You understood the why. I don't know. This is a discussion piece. This is a discussion film. And so let us know what you thought. Have you watched Saltburn? Are you going to watch Saltburn after hearing us talk about it? I think you should. Comment down below. We'll read your comments and share them and give you a shout out. It is streaming on Amazon Prime right now. So, check that out. Oh man, Jamie.
Just be warned. They're plenty warned now. Yeah, go in that.
Plenty warned.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, we are wrapping up the show, the first episode of the Hub on Hollywood.
Woo!
But I felt like this would be a fun thing to do in each episode where we'd play this game. And I love this game. It's called CineQuote, CineQuote. CineQuote.net. And basically what it is every day there is a new movie, a mystery movie that's selected, and it gives you 5 guesses with 5 different quotes from the movie, and you have to guess what it is. And I have a pretty good game point guessing average. It's at 2.75 myself, but and so it's the same game. So Jamie, you can go on your website.
Okay.
On your computer, I'll pop it up on mine. So we could play it. So you can see there are 5 boxes. And below the boxes, there's a play button. And after you go to each play, it'll go into the quote. So we'll push play and listen to it together, and then we'll see if we can get it.
All right.
We'll go in 3, 2, and 1.
Kids today, so desensitized by movies and television.
Oh, I know this
I know
one.
what it is. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to say on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay, yeah,
Did
I
you
just
know
said
it?
the Grinch. How
Okay,
the
let me
Grinch
see.
Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And so when you type it out, like there are different versions of the movie, so different years. So there's 1966 and there's 2000. We'll click 2000 and let's see if we got this on our first try. We got it.
All right.
Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Nice.
You
can't mistake Jim Carrey's voice.
No, we're off to a good start. This is a good start for 2024.
All right. Yeah. Let's see how we do as the year progresses.
Let us know again.
That you're gonna come out on top for the year.
Well, we're a team. We're on the same team. So fortunately for us, we're the How About Hollywood team. But for those of us who are listening and watching us, you can play around too. We'll maybe wait a few seconds after we play a quote, so maybe you could think about it also when you play or hear it on our episode. But this was the How About Hollywood. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell your friends, tell your family. We had a really good year last year with a number of new subscribers, new listeners, people sharing and everything like that. So we appreciate your support. And if you want to drop us a comment, drop us anything else, story ideas or what have you. If you are a local actor, reach out. We love to have you. And can't wait for a fantastic year of movie talk, film talk, New England movie making talk. I'm excited.
That's right. And we've featured so many actors and filmmakers. This is the place where we want to give you the voice in your pursuit of becoming a storyteller and filmmaker. So definitely, like James said, reach out to us here on the Hub on Hollywood, and we are going to have an amazing 2024. So for the Hub on Hollywood, I am Jamie.
I am James. We'll see you next week.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.